Did you know that in the early days of the United States, Catholics faced so much discrimination that they were banned from holding public offices? Interestingly, many people don't know about this unbelievable part of American history, but in this video, I'll reveal other shocking truths about Catholics in the United States. Early Catholic settlers in America. Long before the United States became a country, Catholic explorers and missionaries were already here, shaping parts of what would later become American history. Many people think of the Pilgrims and Jamestown settlers when they picture early America, but Catholics had a strong presence long before those groups arrived. Now, not all of early America was hostile to Catholics. In fact, one colony started out as a rare safe haven for them. That colony was Maryland. It was founded in 1634 by Lord Baltimore, whose real name was George Calvert. He was an English nobleman and a Catholic at a time when being Catholic in England was not easy. Catholics there faced harsh discrimination, and many dreamed of a place where they could practice their faith freely. Lord Baltimore had that dream too, so he asked King Charles I for permission to start a colony in North America. The king agreed, and Maryland was born. At first, Maryland was exactly what Lord Baltimore had hoped for. It was a place of religious freedom, where Catholics and Protestants could live and worship peacefully. This was rare in the 1600s when religious conflicts were common both in Europe and in the American colonies. In 1649, Maryland even passed a law called the Act of Toleration. This law protected Christians of all kinds as long as they believed in Jesus Christ. It was one of the first laws in America to promote religious tolerance. But good things don't always last. By the late 1600s, the situation in Maryland changed. More and more Protestants moved into the colony, and they didn't like the idea of Catholics having power. Tensions grew, and in 1689, Protestants led a rebellion against the Catholic leadership. They took over the government and quickly passed laws that targeted Catholics. The Act of Toleration was repealed, and new laws made life harder for Catholics. They were no longer allowed to hold public office, vote, or even openly practice their faith. For nearly 100 years, Catholics in Maryland lived under these restrictions. They had to worship in secret, and Catholic priests had to be careful not to attract too much attention. Maryland had gone from a place of religious freedom to just another colony where Catholics were treated as second-class citizens. However, things started to change when the American Revolution began. The colonies were fighting against Britain, and they needed all the help they could get. Catholic-majority countries like France and Spain became crucial allies in the war. Suddenly, Catholics were not seen as enemies but as valuable friends. Many Catholics joined the fight for independence, including a man named Charles Carroll, the only Catholic to sign the Declaration of Independence. As America moved toward becoming its own country, attitudes toward Catholics slowly improved. Despite their contributions to American society, Catholics still faced intense discrimination in the 19th century. The biggest reason? Immigration. Millions of Catholics from Ireland, Germany, and Italy began arriving in the United States looking for better opportunities. But instead of being welcomed, they were seen as a threat. Many Protestants believed Catholic immigrants would never truly be American because their loyalty was to the Pope in Rome rather than the U.S. government. This fear led to the rise of powerful anti-Catholic movements that spread hate, violence, and misinformation. One of the most notorious groups was the Know Nothing Party. They got their name because, when asked about their activities, members were supposed to say, "I know nothing," but in reality, they knew exactly what they were doing, spreading anti-Catholic propaganda and trying to keep Catholics out of positions of power. They believed that Catholics would destroy democracy and turn America into a puppet of the Vatican. Know-nothings pushed laws that prevented Catholics from voting, holding office, or even getting certain jobs. In some cases, they even burned Catholic churches and attacked Catholic immigrants in violent riots.